Hey everyone, just want to let you know that we'll be partnering up with Pregame Pub this month, working on a fundraiser for the DV Farm. For those that don't know what it is, it's a program that helps homeless veterans get off the streets, helps them with their addictions, puts them to work, just tries to get them back to the civilian life and be a part of society again.
It's a really great program. We'll be donating $1 per subscriber this month, up to $1,000. We'll actually have the link in the description below so you can check them out. You can donate down below as well. We'll have a donation button down there as well. And yeah, just a really great program, so you should definitely check them out.
Please think about donating to this foundation. It would really help our veterans and really get their lives back on track.
Welcome back to Sports on Tap. I'm your host, James Laney, with my co-host, Kyle Johnson.
How we living?
And my co-host, Ryan Fahey.
What's happening?
And today we have very special guest, two-time Pro Bowler, Ravens fullback, Pat Ricard.
Oh, yeah.
What up? What up?
Bring it up, boys. Yup.
Thanks for taking
What's
the time
happening, guys?
Oh,
Yeah.
we're great.
Thanks for taking time out of your day to doing this, Pat. Really appreciate it. First question, big thing in the NFL with you is a lot of guys see you as like just this huge beast, like in the NFL, like big guys are saying you're big. But the thing that's even more impressive is for your size, you're pretty athletic and you have great hands. How often do you actually work out with the tight ends or receivers?
So with the offense, because you guys probably know, I used to be a two-way player, so I played both sides. But strictly with the offense now, and the whole time I've been with the team, I've always been with the tight end group. That's kind of how I started. My coach was Greg Roman. I mean, he was the tight ends coach at the time, so he had me in his room, and he coached me at fullback there, along with the tight, like learning tight end in that position. So now that I'm with them full time, I'm with the tight ends. I don't even go in the running backs room. I don't go do any running back drills with those guys. I'm strictly with the tight ends because, you know, the fullback, especially with the Ravens, it's kind of a tight end, but it's really not. It's similar, but it's not. So that's why I'm in there. So I'm catching balls with them every day, trying to expand my route tree. I mean, it's limited because, you know, I'm almost 300 pounds. So
You say that, but I've literally seen you catch a football an inch off the ground, like,
yeah,
or a touchdown. But
so yeah, I'm just gonna keep expanding with them and just keep catching balls and you know, just keep getting better that way with those guys. But I'm with them every day in practice, always with the tight ends.
So actually, when did you switch from both sides? I thought you were still playing defense.
No, so going my 5th year now. So my rookie year is 2017. Got there and I was playing defense, undrafted out of Maine's defensive lineman, trying to make the team and try to get my name known. And a week in, they asked me to get a rep at fullback, and because of the time, they didn't have fullback on the roster besides an undrafted guy in my class and a running back. They're trying to convert to become a fullback. So for me, they, gave me the opportunity, did well, and I got a couple of reps throughout OTAs, which right now our OTAs is starting next week. It's like our spring ball. OTAs is organized team activities. So it's really just about 2 months in the spring of us coming together and having workouts, meetings, some practices and helmets, and then eventually a mini camp, which is the middle of June. But anyway, so for me to make the full switch wasn't until the start of my rookie year. Training camp, was still trying to make it as a defensive lineman. Didn't even get to anything with the offense until probably the second game. And then I started doing more things with them and did well in games, and then ultimately made the team and became pretty much went my rookie year full throttle with the offense, just because, I made the team as a fullback. I never played the position. So it's like, hey, you have to learn this. You have to be in our room and really soak this in, because defense was a little easier for me because I only played defense in college, and then I was with the defense most of the time in OTAs and training camp. So I really knew our defense. So really went with the offense my rookie year.
Yeah, fair enough. Awesome. You killer.
All right. Listen, this offseason is pretty exciting, but did you wish that, I know you guys signed Sammy Watkins. He's no slouch, obviously, but do you wish they targeted like a Kenny Galladay, or like, do you think like Lamar is just that much of a cheat code he can compensate for maybe a less than ideal receiving core?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys have to think like this, right? So guys have price tags, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And there's so many other factors besides that, but just alone, obviously we're trying to get the best receivers in our building, but if their price tags are too high, they're not going to come to our team. We can't afford them, or they're not going to take a pay cut. Some players will. Some players will like, I know my market price is this. Teams are going to offer me this money, but I'll take less because I want to either win a Super Bowl or be on a really good team or play for this team that maybe I loved as a kid or whatever. There's so many factors. Maybe they don't fit with our offense. Maybe they don't fit. They don't like the city. Like there's so many things. So it's really hard to get the best of the best in every single team. It's so funny. A lot of fans really wanted Kenny and constantly just like letting me know on social media and stuff. And I'm
Twitter
like,
was blowing up with Kenny Golladay to the Ravens.
Yeah, and like there's so many factors to get guys to teams. There's cap room, there's age, there's injuries, there's productivity, there's a fit with the team. There's guys who there's so much to it. So obviously, I want the best receivers on this team to help us win. But Lamar at the end of the day,
dude's an animal.
Amazing, right?
That
Dude's
dude,
an animal.
that man.
Yeah, like he's very good, and if we can get some players and to improve spot, even they're trying to get a better Pat Ricard every day, and so regardless, it's a good situation for the Ravens when we have Lamar. So just got to make some moves and see what happens when the season starts.
Yeah. If there was one guy you could add, though, anyone like you could add, just pick out of the league, who would you add to your team? Offense, defense?
These questions, James, are always hard because at the end of the day, these are my teammates I'm talking about that I'm like, oh, I want this guy to come in and replace one of our receivers.
True. That's a different way.
It's hard, but all the fans, they want a new wide receiver. They want a new one. We got Sammy Watkins, and he's a good receiver. And
he's no slouch.
So.
Yeah,
he's a great receiver. I know, but like losing Willie Snead too, that's a big one.
Yeah,
but I think you guys will be all right.
Yeah, Willie's he's a very chippy player. Like he's very reliable. He's a good leader for us. And he's going to do well in Las Vegas. That's pretty dope to go out there and play for them. But it's going to be interesting to see who's going to fully replace him. I'm not sure if that's Sammy's position or not. I don't think it is. But, we'll see who the next Willie Snead will be for us.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. So actually during the last season, you got to play against your hometown team, New England Patriots. How was that? Was it really exciting kind of getting to go into Gillette Stadium and playing it? I know the weather was crazy that game, but how was it kind of coming home and getting to play?
Yeah. So we stayed in Boston and then obviously drove to the game from there, and, traveling to teams and playing different areas, and, you get a feel for a city if you play there again and things like that. But when I came to Boston and stayed there and drove down to Gillette and got into Gillette, it just felt like I was home. Like it was just such awesome feeling to be there. The stadium, being in the stadium. I played there once when I was at Maine. We played UMass because UMass played at Gillette Stadium for 2 years when they were building their new stadium at their school. But I played there once, so I had experience to play there. And now playing with the Ravens against the Patriots there, it was surreal. Absolutely. It's a beautiful stadium too. I didn't realize how nice it really is, and kind of just the vibe. I think it's the vibe being there. It's just like, a lot of history has happened here, a lot of, amazing games, and just looking at all the banners there, playing at other stadiums, and now actually going back versus when I was there in college to now and seeing it and trying to experience it. It was a night game too. I think the biggest disappointment though was just no fans. I could have only imagined how many fans I would have had at that game, just people that have known me or played sports with, went to school with, or whatever. I would have had so many people there. But 2 years ago in 2019, we played them in Baltimore on Sunday night prime time. I had 60 people come down for that game. So, I did have somewhat of an experience, playing against them with a lot of people that I love around me. But I think that was the biggest letdown. It would have been so cool to have everybody there, but the weather was crazy, right? You guys mentioned,
it was nuts.
We it was a tough game for us. They ran the ball really well against us, and we just couldn't really get too much going on offense at certain points in the game. And then the weather just got ridiculous. And the last drive, Lamar was out there and I was on the sidelines, and I just couldn't believe that these guys were out there playing. It was like that SpongeBob SquarePants episode where he's delivering the Krusty Krab pizza and that crazy
Yes.
whatever.
The Krusty Krab, yay.
It was crazy, but yeah, that was the other thing. We lost too, so that was kind of a crappy feeling, you know.
I'm not gonna lie. I wanted, like, selfishly, I wanted a better pick for the Patriots too. So I was pulling for you guys heavy. I really was. I was like, let's go, Lamar. I'm with it. Come on. And then it just crumbled. The weather took over, and I was like, of course we won this game. Of course we. I like, when the season, when the schedule came out, I was like, oh, we'll chalk this up as a loss. It's good, but of course, Mother Nature took over, and I was like, great, that's fine.
Only in Gillette, though.
Oh, only enjoy.
Oh yeah. Everybody was like, Bill Belichick's over there pressing.
Doing something. Yeah.
Yes.
Have you gotten to talk to Bill? Was that you get to talk to him at all? Or?
No, like, all right, like James, you know me and stuff. Like, I'm pretty quiet. Like, I'm not gonna go up to people and like just introduce myself and like, hey, Bill, like no. I don't. After games, like guys, after games, I can go around and like talk to anybody I want. I don't normally. Only if I know you, I'll talk to you. But other than that, I just kind of glance, like, all right, there's Aaron Rodgers. All right, cool. There's so and so. Like, I'm just
not the fanboy kind of
leave,
thing.
like, okay, that was really cool, but I'm not gonna like go up to him because like I don't know what to say to you. Like, you know, I don't want
What's going on, Bill? Just
I mean, if I'm being honest,
I
that
just don't want to make
conversation was
an idiot of myself.
that conversation probably would have lasted 3 seconds anyway. You'd be, hey, Bill, you'd be like, and then you walked away. That's Bill's persona.
Pretty much,
So actually, how did it feel winning your first playoff game? I mean, that's kind of a surreal experience. And like, how does that differ from like a regular season versus, you know, with everybody there?
Yeah. So a little background on that real quick. So that was, you know, last year, obviously my fourth season. My rookie year, we didn't make the playoffs. We literally lost to the Bengals last game at home, and it was supposed to be like, I think we had like a 90% chance of making the playoffs, and we just like came back from like an even record. Like we just like won 5-6 games in a row.
I think I remember that streak.
Yeah, it's my rookie year, and we're playing against the Bengals, and literally it's 4th and like 20, and this man Andy Dalton just throws a dime right over.
I do remember that.
That was the Bills, right?
Ball just goes right over. Dude catches it and just runs and scores, and then we lose. And then like 3 other teams that were supposed to win all lost, so then we didn't get in.
Yeah.
So that was a really, really bad feeling of just like not getting in when we thought we were going to. And then my second year, we lost first in the wild card to the Chargers after we just beat them in LA. And then I think 2 games later, it was the wild card, and then they came and kicked our ass in Baltimore. So that
I think
was
I was
really
just
bad.
Unlucky playing them back to back, kind of, because you kind of get a game plan winning the first one. That almost happened with the Browns in Pittsburgh this year, with Pittsburgh at the end of the season, then Browns in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, when you play that team the second time, you just have a better game plan or can scheme them differently and things like that, or guys seen things. So like,
you pick up on things.
Yeah, and I think the second time we played the Chargers, they played a different defense, and I think they had an extra like DB or linebacker in the box, so like our run game was just not there. And I was inactive. I was inactive for like the last month of the season, my second year.
Yeah,
it was unfortunate for me, but yeah, so I didn't even get to play in the game, but like obviously I'm part of the team, part of the city, and played most of the year. So it was just like, damn, like we just lost first round. Like that sucked because last year we didn't make it, and it's a big deal, guys. Like if you don't make playoffs,
it's not fun watching.
They'll start to fire people. They'll start to like let people go. They'll start trying to bring new people in because they want championships every year, right? Every team wants a championship. So if you're not getting in the playoffs, it's like, oof, you know, it's like got to get in there. Who we got to get in here to get into the playoffs? So like it's a lot of tension in the building and the city and things like that. So then obviously everyone knows what happens 2019, right? Amazing team, 14-2, number 1 seed, all this stuff, right? Lamar's won MVP, and then boom, lost division round because we got the first round bye. We lost to the Titans, and it sucked. That really hurt. And that was my first game I played in, right?
Yeah.
So now people are saying, oh, Lamar Jackson can't even win a playoff game. This guy sucks, right? Or the Ravens or Harbaugh, all this stuff.
It's crazy.
Right. And for me, I never got to experience it yet. And those 3 years in a row of just like heartache, like, okay, can't get in, lost first round, lost again, first round. And now we get to play this year in the playoffs against the Titans. So it was amazing to get revenge after the playoff game we lost to them. And then after we played them this year, I think it was like week 11 or something in Baltimore. And we were up by 2 scores and they came back and it was just a chippy game. The start of the game, pregame was just a little chippy with both teams. And then we lost. So then obviously we weren't happy again, right? We lost to them again. So to play them in the playoffs at their place and beat them, I mean, it was just a phenomenal experience. I mean, it was nothing better. I mean, you guys saw my teammates on defense stomping on their logo. Like that's just how
Yeah,
it was an intense game.
Felt.
That's got to be just an unbelievable energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had fans there too. We didn't play with fans most of the year, and they had probably like 10,000 people, and it felt like it was packed. So like it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then obviously it was a big letdown in Buffalo when we lost. But I mean, to have at least one playoff win against the Titans like that and the whole situation, and myself, I caught a couple balls, which it doesn't really happen too often. And for me to do that in a playoff game, I got my name out there a little bit more, and it was a great experience for myself. And hopefully we can get past the divisional round. That's the goal into the Super Bowl, because man, we got to get to that AFC Championship.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you got to get to the big game. You got to get to the Super Bowl.
Get the bowl. Come on now.
I would say, so you're going into your 5th year now. So you've got some experience in the league. Who is the number one guy you've learned from in this league, that experience? Like, who have you learned the most from?
I don't think I've ever been asked that question. That's a good question.
It is.
I like that question. All right. I mean, coaching wise, I'll do that really quick. His name's Andy Bischoff. He was his title's a little weird because like he's like the assistant to the offensive coordinator, but he's also an assistant tight end coach. But he's very, very knowledgeable. Like he knows so much in our run game and just everything about our offense in general. And I just learned so much from him. I was constantly always with him. Before practice, after practice, during practice, asking him questions all the time. And he was such a cool and unfortunately it's not unfortunate. It's unfortunate because he loved the Ravens. He loved us and everything. But now he just got the full tight end coach. He's the head tight end coach for the Houston Texans now. So that just happened. So unfortunately he's not my coach anymore, but he was such a cool coach, guys. Like I could say the dumbest things to him. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. And he would just laugh at me and then just tell me. Yeah. Like, for me, playing on offense and defense for this team, like, our defensive coaches, no. Like, they if you don't, like, they are not like that. So to be able to have somebody like that, and, I learn better just talking and asking a lot of questions. Because sometimes if you tell me the same thing over and over again, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to understand. So this guy, he was just phenomenal for me. Really developed my game. Like I went from an undrafted defensive lineman to a 2-time Pro Bowler in 3 to 4 years, right? So like there's people that have helped me. He's one of those people that really got me to where I am right now. And then players wise, I mean, there's a handful of guys on my team that have helped me, but I think the number one guy is probably Nick Boyle. He's a stud tight end for us. He played at Delaware, so I played at Maine, and we're in the same conference. So I played against him in college. He's a few years older than me, so I played him against him once, but at least I know of him and things like that. And anyway, so he's probably one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. He gets paid like it, and he should. And he's just very technical sound. He's physical, and me just watching his tape and being around him all the time, and he's improved my game as a fullback because it's like I said, it's pretty similar. But I mean, there's still some things that I do that he can't do because of my size and just my player. But the same thing for him. There's a lot of things I can't do that he does, and we just kind of learn from each other. But he's been a great help for me. I mean, he's going into his 7th year now. 7. Yeah. He's been in the league now for a little bit, and
he started on the Colts, right? If I'm thinking of the
Ravens the whole time.
Yeah,
he was drafted, I think, like 5th round.
I'm thinking of
Jack. You're thinking of Jack Doyle.
Yeah, I think I am.
He's in my agency. That dude's good too.
Oh, he's got hands.
But yeah, he does. He's a good receiving tight end. He blocks pretty well too, but not like Nick Boyle.
He's a beast.
He's very good. If you guys ever watch our games, you have to watch Nick. I have to. Besides me, obviously. I mean,
Well,
we're on the
Oh,
field
I
at the
mean,
same time.
naturally. Come on now.
Trust me, I get enough
Well-
highlights and retweets from the hometown people. I see you all the time.
All right. Yeah, cool.
And then actually,
All right. Listen, you've pancaked I mean, the list just continues to grow. But who's the number one guy you want to pancake and why is it TJ Watt?
Oh, number one guy I want a pancake. Oh my gosh.
because you finish a ton of like almost
Oh.
every highlight is you just finishing
Oh,
blocks
yeah.
like insanely.
It's great to watch.
Oh yeah,
You know, that's how I play. I play to the whistle, and I'm trying to get guys on the ground. I mean,
Yeah.
shoot, if you're gonna let me do it, and I'm gonna and I'm gonna be able to do it, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's how it
but
should
anyway,
be.
I didn't hear.
I don't know, man. Like, it has to probably be like a big defensive end, like a big guy, right? Because like those are the hardest guys to get on the ground because they're big, right? You know, doing it to like a DB is kind of like, okay, cool, you can't get a DB, but it's still
you eat
badass.
those guys
right?
for
Like,
breakfast,
still-
dude.
Yeah.
he's still a grown ass man, but like
Right.
I have a lot more weight on him, so like it probably have to be a bigger guy. Like, just coming in my head is probably guys I play a lot. Obviously, some of my division, so probably like a Miles Garrett, like he's big as hell. You know, to
That'd be
pancake
sick.
him would be pretty impressive to do. But I mean, he's a rock. Every time I hit him, he doesn't move very much. But
I
hey,
don't
as
think
long
I've
as I
ever seen
get in his way and I get back and hit the hole, that's all that really matters. Yeah, I'm not sure. It has just a defensive end probably.
Yeah.
All right.
And
You well,
doesn't
you
matter.
since you like big block any kind of thing, do you have any rivals in the league? Any beef with anyone?
Like player wise,
Yeah, player wise.
yes and
I-
no. Maybe.
Love it.
I don't really talk too much when I play. Like guys will talk shit to me and I just walk away. I don't
Yeah.
even have the time unless it's like they say something crazy to me and then or like they get in my face.
Yeah.
I mean, probably I've had a couple people talk shit to me. Like my rookie year, I had Khalil Mack call me soft and
Jesus.
a P word. I'm not gonna say it on here, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's because like he's one of those guys where he does whatever he wants. Like any type of block that comes his way, he'll play it however he wants. And it's not like that for a lot of players in the league. Like you have to play blocks certain way to your defenses and things like that. But some coaches give some guys some leeways, and he's one of those guys, right? Khalil Mack, let him make plays. So like
Will Mac, yeah.
my rookie year, obviously I've been barely playing fullback and I have to go block him. So my coach told me like, hey, do not like try to lay him out because he will lay you or make you miss. So we ran, it was the end of the game, is like 4-minute drive. So we were just trying to run the ball out and whatever. So we ran the same play like 3 or 4 times. I had to block him every single time. He knew it was coming. So then he started calling me soft and all this stuff. And I was just laughing. I'm like, did Khalil Mack just call me soft? Like, that's hilarious because
That's kind of cool
a couple
though.
months ago, I was still at Maine, and now this guy who's been an all-pro is calling me these things. And Luke Kuechly like freaked out on me because I pancaked him, and then I ran away. I pancaked him, and the next play I faced him, I had to cut him, and he was pissed. He was so mad at me, dude. Like I cut him. I got up, and he got up faster than me, and then I was running after the ball, and he was running after me. He didn't even care about the ball. He was just running after me, screaming, tripping in my ear. Like, and I was like, oh, geez. And then I stopped, and he, like, ran by me, and I was like, dude, oh, my gosh. Like, he was trying to kill me because I cut him. He was so pissed because he was like, he thought it was a soft move, too. But,
But if it worked, I mean.
Yeah. Besides those two stories, beef-wise, I mean, like I said, we play the Browns, Bengals, the Steelers all the time. So, I mean, you play them twice a year. You're going to get sick of playing those guys all the times. And especially they're good teams, right? Especially this past year, the Browns and the Steelers both made the playoffs, and we're trying to win the division. So whenever we play them, they're like playoff games because if you win your division, you go to the playoffs, and we're trying to win that. And probably on the Steelers, I don't think he's there anymore. But Vince Williams, him and I would go after sometimes. They're a middle linebacker. We've gone into a little bit. Like like I said, I blocked to the whistle, right? So I would block him an extra 15 yards, like just blocking him, and he would just stop, and I would just keep driving him like 15 yards. And one time he like freaked out, told me he would tear my ACL out and all this crap, and I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, you're just screaming, you're gonna tear my ACL? And I'm like, it was crazy. Like that's just how like the game gets sometimes, the rivalries. And but other than that, the NFL is pretty good. No one really talks too much crap.
Yeah.
Other than those few stories.
Yeah, right.
The Luke Kuechly one's kind of cool though.
Yeah,
I can't believe you retired though.
Yeah, I mean,
That I
dude
thought
got
was a little
many concussions.
Yeah.
That's
You
fair.
want to ask? So actually, about the stories, Kyle's got a question. You heard a rumor around town.
I did. Well, I heard. I don't know when I heard this. I heard this a little while ago, but I don't know who the guy was. But you were blocking somebody to the whistle, like we just talked about, and they got up, and the guy told you to relax, and you were like, "This is the NFL. Like, what do you mean relax?"
Mm-hmm. So it was against the Patriots.
Oh, all right. See,
So
Even better.
yeah.
I mean, little background really quick on this story, because this is why I like told the stories, because going into the Patriots in 2019, they were undefeated.
Yeah.
There was 6-0. Their defense was called the Boogeymen.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
were statistically at that point going to be the best defense in NFL history. They had, I think, allowed 0 touchdowns, caused a ridiculous amount of turnovers, not many yards. They've scored a bunch of points, and they were coming into our place, right? And I'm all hyped up. I'm playing the Patriots the first time in my life. We just beat Seattle in Seattle, and Seattle's was, I think, like 4-1 or something. And we just beat them, and we're all hyped up, and we're like, okay, we can beat anybody now, right? And it's against, of course, the Patriots, and I'm all like psyched up and about to play like the best defense ever. And like these dudes are big on film. Like the Patriots linebackers, like they're big as hell. Like they're no joke. And
Dante Hightower.
And their outside backers, they run a 3-4. So it's like outside backer, 2 backers in the box, another outside backer, and then 3 linemen, right? So like both those guys, big as hell. These 2 dudes are monsters.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, all right, let's like, in their defensive backs are like getting intercepted, like 4 interceptions every game. So it was just like, okay, let's see how this goes. Very first play, we run a counter. So I up kick and I go around my guard. He kicks him out, and then I lead up on, I think it was what was his name? Landon Roberts. That's who it was.
Yeah.
And I hit him, and I just started driving my feet, right? And I started driving him. Literally, probably within like, I hit him, started driving my feet a couple steps. He tells me to relax. The first play of the game against the freaking Boogeymen.
I mean, to be fair, I drop him every time I do a franchise with
Dude,
the Pats.
that's
so soft.
That's the same guy who like was famous quoted around. He'd be like, "I run through a muff face." That's what he said. That's his quote.
Yeah, I laughed at that.
Fantastic that happened.
That's awesome. I didn't know it was against the Patriots.
I didn't
player.
either. Yeah, I heard like the faintest bit of that, but
that is awesome.
That is pretty cool.
I don't know. Like I said, guys don't like getting blocked, so I don't know if I blocked him too long.
Those are like the best highlights, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Running through people, like I love those plays, especially even on like that one catch too. You could have juked, you could have done whatever, you could have ran out of bounds against or was it the Cowboys? I think. And it was when you were on Good Morning Football.
You absolutely just bodied a guy.
You ran through like 4 people instead of running out of bounds.
It was the Texans.
It was the Texans. Of course, it's the Texans.
He's like, I remember that one
vividly.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Oh, you home?
Oh, I mean, listen, for the inevitable touchdown you're gonna get, do you have any celebrations planned, or are you just gonna like go nuts?
All right. So
yeah,
my experience with touchdowns are very they're not very frequent. I didn't get any touchdowns in college.
No.
So the last touchdowns I got were at David Prouty High School, guys.
Hey,
we're way back.
Hey, it's coming.
Right, way back.
You do.
I just get excited, right? I just get excited because, like, you know, it's not like I'm playing like, all right, Pat, we're getting you a touchdown this game. It's more like, okay, we have like 1 or 2 calls that you run this one play out of like the 30 we have, and we might call it, and you might get the ball, and you might score.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not like I'm Mark Andrews. I might get a couple touchdowns a game. It's like I might get 1 or 2 in the whole year, for the most part. Maybe things might change. You know what I'm saying? But so I just get really excited. But I did. So my rookie year, I scored 1, it was in November. I scored one. And I was just like, holy crap! Like, I don't know what to do. Kind of just like, you know,
What to do with my
Like,
hands? Just
yeah, exactly. It was like, oh, holy, like it was a lot of things happened in my head. Like, okay, I just scored a touchdown. Okay, this is pretty crazy. Oh, I'm supposed to celebrate now. Like, because defense, because I play defense all the time, you kind of celebrate, but like you don't really have to on defense. But when you score a touchdown, you're supposed to do a whole dance and stuff like that. And that's not really me. I'm not really someone to dance. So I told myself, if I scored another touchdown, I'm going to do a celebration. And it was the next week. It was prime time, Sunday night in Pittsburgh against our rivals, right? And it was a crazy game. And I scored a touchdown to get the lead late in the third quarter. Ironically, I have a football right here. So this is what I told myself what I was going to do, right? And I did it. And nobody really saw it. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do another celebration because no one really saw it. And I don't really know if I want to dance or anything, but I might bring this one back. So I don't know. So I was thinking of like, okay, so like I have a rain right here, right? But obviously I don't have this on the field or drink. So I did with the football. So like I pretended to shotgun it. So like I pretended to like hit my helmet a couple of times with it to like, people do that with cans. They go, shotgun it. So I had the football. I went like this, boom, boom. I shotgunned it, went up with it, and then I went down and spiked it. So that was the only
bring
thing.
that back.
I mean,
really,
that's the way to
bring
go.
that back.
I think I should because I think it's pretty sweet. I mean, if I score
100%.
touchdowns, I'll just do that every time. And people in the games, people watching at home, they might do it with me. Might get in some endorsement deals or something. You know what I'm saying?
That's the big one right
Oh, that's big. That's a big brain move right there.
Sponsored by Bud Light. Just
yeah, right? I just go places. I'm just a guy that hits cans over my head and shotguns them.
Yes.
So scoring is like pretty big moments in the NFL. You don't get to do it a lot, but what do you think is the greatest moment you've had in the NFL so far, like that you just love?
I got asked those questions, quite often, and it's always hard to pick one thing, right? Like there's so many moments that's happened so far, and I'm gonna give you a couple because it's just way too hard to really pick one. I think just making the team my rookie year, just that feeling of just like, wow, like I've actually made it in the NFL on a team, on a roster, as an undrafted guy, went through so much, been through so much, and now like I actually am here with these people. Now it's just time to stay here. I mean, I think that alone is just an amazing feeling that I'll never forget. And then on top of that, I think signing my second contract, I signed my extension in 2019 in December to sign that money because when you're undrafted, you have to sign the league minimum. It's pretty good money, but at the end of the day, it's not life-changing money. Like I can't leave the NFL in 3 years with the money I made and live off of that. Like I have to get a normal job. And, it's good money to start my life with, but it's not enough to be like, oh, I'm rich. Like I don't have to do anything. It's not like that. Unless I was like a first round pick and just got a $10 million signing bonus or something crazy. Like my signing bonus was $3,000, right? I was lit. I went to Applebee's and stuff. Right, because I was a broke college student. Now I got a couple grand in the bank, so I was all excited. But yeah, so when I signed that, like I said, my second year, I was inactive for the last month of the season, didn't play in the playoff game. So there was a lot of uncertainty with myself and the team, with fans and stuff. But I knew there really wasn't, but that was the word with the fans and media that I was not going to be there for my third year. So then my third year, I ended up signing that 2-year extension, got some pretty good money to now where that's life-changing money for myself and my family. And then on top of that, a couple of weeks after that, this is probably the next biggest thing for me in the NFL was I made my Pro Bowl, right? I made my first Pro Bowl. And then going to it, I mean, guys, it was so sick. It was a week-long event with my family and being there. So I think those three things really are the biggest moments for myself. Team-wise, I mean, just being with those guys every day. I mean, just being in the building and then just winning bunch of games. There really isn't too many to pick out besides probably Patriot games. I mean, those are the biggest ones I would say because grew up watching them, right? So it's always really crazy playing against them.
Yeah, a little surreal kind of thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Then actually, my last question for you: when COVID's like done and over with, we getting the restaurant reviews back or what? Those I thought were fun.
Okay, so you liked them?
I know a lot of people did. I did like them.
Yeah. By the way, I just realized you're wearing one of my hoodies.
Of
so I
course.
appreciate that. Yeah.
I was waiting for you to notice.
Yeah. So I gotta like really go in here to look in there. But,
Upgraded
Yeah,
to the
so-
4K camera just for that.
so yeah, so Project Pat food review was a thing my second year. I did it on our off days during the season. I would go down to Baltimore and find little hidden gems throughout the city, and I thought it was a cool idea because I was able to be a part of Baltimore, visit different areas, different foods, different people, and bring a different teammate with me every time and go in there, eat their food, and ask them questions. And I did it on my Instagram live, and it was kind of like a put together like idea. So like I didn't really have too much of like I didn't have a website, I didn't have like a YouTube channel. I just had, hey, I'm gonna post a hard post on my Instagram, and then I'm gonna go live on my Instagram that night. Like it was kind of
It was super unique though. Like it was
yeah,
an
right?
interesting perspective that like you don't get from like a lot of NFL players, or really any.
Yeah. So like that's why I thought that's why we thought it was cool. But
Yeah.
obviously now with COVID, it's just obviously not a thing. But afterwards it's up. I think I'm gonna do it during OTAs.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like during the spring, because during the season it's a little hectic because obviously we only get 1 day off a week. And even that 1 day off, it's the day after the game. You're recovering like a mofo, right? Like you're like,
Yeah.
I have to get healthy, get ready for the next game and for practice and stuff. So it's not really a day off. Like you're still going in the facility, you're still going in the tubs, you're getting treatment, you might get a workout in, you're gonna probably get a massage from like a massage therapist. Like you're not just going home and doing absolutely nothing. So that's when I did it. Right, I did it then. So that's why I think my second year I didn't want to do it because I liked having my day off versus then I had to go down to Baltimore and get dinner and all this thing. So I think next year, if COVID's not a thing, I'll do it during OTAs. So
Fair
make
enough.
sure you
Of course, I'll be tuning in.
I would say.
Cool.
So you've been known as like kind of a big homebody guy, not like you said before, you don't really go out a lot kind of things. It's like word around town of like what we know is you're a homebody guy. What enticed you to, because I know last year or 2 years ago, you bought a house actually in your hometown, like in home. What made you want to do that rather than go to Baltimore or something like that?
Yeah. So the main reason was at first was my wife Haley, which you know Haley. So she was actually in grad school in Worcester, and she started my rookie year. So the off season my rookie year. So that made us come back to the Worcester Spencer area for the off season because she was in school, and I wasn't going to be in Maryland by myself the whole time, right? So we came up here for those 2 years, and then this past summer we bought a house in my hometown, and the main reason why we did that is because we both love our families a lot, especially my wife. She's super close because she only has one sibling. I'm one of 9 technically, so like there's a lot of my family. So for her, she has only a sister, and her sister has a couple young children. So my wife really wants to be there as an aunt, as a sister to her, and obviously her parents. And then, we have friends that we grew up with here. So when we're in Maryland, if we stayed in Maryland, we'd be away from our family the whole time. We'd be away from our friends. So we felt like let's try to be here during our off season, and then when I retire, we can just come back here and already have a home base here. And also too, it makes it a lot easier to have a separate house, because for me, like, I never know where I'm going to be every year for the most part. Like the Ravens can come in right now, and then I could get signed to a team in the West Coast. The next thing I know, I have to go over there. And it's very complicated, but you don't have like one main place for everything. Like all my documents, like where my truck is registered, like what state, all that stuff. So it's really good to have like a permanent place. Like, okay, we can put everything to that house there, and then our house in Maryland, or we're renting down there, but that's our in-season place where we have everything. Like it's a weird way to live, but that's the life of being a pro athlete. It's just
makes
crazy
sense
like
though.
that.
Yeah, so it makes your life a little easier.
Yeah. for sure.
Listen, you're a two-time Pro Bowler. For most players in the league, that would be a dream come true. But do you have any what's your next goal for your career? Like, what do you have that you want to do?
The next mountain.
The next
Yeah.
mountain you want to climb?
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, like I just look at it like this: if I try to make myself better every day, all those things are gonna come in fruition. So it's really like, okay, what are my main goals? Like for me, it's just like try to win every game for my team, and eventually we'll see where it goes. So right now, it's try to get to a Super Bowl. Like we're so close. We're right there. Like we've shown we've been to the divisional round back-to-back years. We went to the wild card the year before that. And we're, all I can do is just keep getting better to where I can make our offense better and the guys around me better to where we can get over that hump. And while I'm doing that, my goal is to keep going to Pro Bowls, right? Like that's like I've been to it twice in a row now. I play at a position where there's only like 10 guys voted every year, and because it's AFC, NFC, AFC, there's 16 teams, and there's probably 10 to 12 teams that use fullbacks. So I got to beat out 10, 11, 10 guys, right? So, and I've already been selected twice. People know me. So now if I just keep playing well, stay healthy, I'm probably going to keep getting voted to Pro Bowls. That's just the way the position I play. I mean, you look at Kyle Juszczyk, right, in the NFC. He deserves all those Pro Bowls, but alone his name, guys will just Juice get they just know him. Okay, that's the fullback in NFC. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, Ricard. Yep, you know him. Okay, that's kind of how it is sometimes with the Pro Bowl voting. But yeah, I mean, those Super Bowl, Pro Bowls. Next for me now is get a new contract with the Ravens or hit the be a free agent for the first time in my career. This is my last year, my contract. Like I said, in 2009-10, I signed a 2-year extension. So last year, now this year. So now it's just to be healthy, play well, to deserve my third contract, which is crazy to think about because the NFL average career is 3.3 years. And that's because a lot of people don't see second contracts. And I'm about to see my third. So, I just got to keep working hard, keep staying healthy, humble, all those things, and all those things will come to me. If I'm fortunate enough, the Super Bowl will be the ultimate goal, but you can only do so much, right? Some guys don't even ever play in playoff games and they're Hall of Famers. So I'm fortunate enough to play in a couple.
Yeah. You're clearly a big team first kind of guy. Like you're just saying, like, I'm going to do my best to help my team and hopefully win a Super Bowl one day. Where do you think that it was instilled from? Maybe coaching back from high school, back in college, something your family instilled in you? Where would you say that came from?
Yeah, it's just my upbringing. I mean, I come from a small town, went to a small high school, only had one Division I offer. Other than that, a Division II offer, right? So under recruited at a high school, go to Maine, I get there and I'm already doubted by some teammates, and I had to switch positions. I had to play defensive line, didn't play that in high school, and then ended up being undrafted. And I was just supposed to be kind of like a camp body, like maybe makes our practice squad, maybe makes our team. And then I ended up making it. And now I go from all of that to a 2-time Pro Bowler, signing new contracts every couple of years. Like it's just like, I don't know, it's just who I am. Like I'm not going to change. I've never been entitled to things. Like, if I grew up and I was just so talented, like out of this world where I got every offer, I could be like, okay, I want to go to, should I go to Alabama or Clemson? Like, cool. LSU looks kind of cool. I don't know. Right. Like, it's just, I don't know. Just who I am. I'm never gonna change that way. I'm just gonna, and that's the thing too, like when I came in the league, like I had to try to make the team any way possible. Right. So it's like, okay, I can play both sides of the ball, make myself more valuable to be active on game days. Like I'm going to do it. Like it doesn't matter. Like I'll do whatever. And I'm still the same way. Like I had to be asked to play tight end when Nick Boyle blew his knee out against the Patriots. So thank you guys so much for her and Nick. But I had to then
my buddy.
I was getting like 35% of the snaps playing fullback to all of a sudden getting 80-90% of the snaps because I had to play tight end, right? So like I just had to do that thing to help the team, but it helps myself. It helps, you know what I'm saying? So like that's what I'm trying to say. Like at the end of the day, like it's gonna help myself and the team at the same time, right? So I'm gonna do it. I'm all for it.
That's
So
a great mentality to have.
yeah.
Of course.
Be your final question.
Oh boy. Okay. So listen, Pat, let's be real. These questions have been softballs. Okay. I'm asking. This is the hard hitting question. I need you to strap in here. James is very nervous.
We don't know what he's about.
No
to do.
idea
We
what
have
it
no
is.
idea.
Okay. Anyway.
Good.
Yes. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh
It's a
my
valid
God.
question.
Is it a sandwich? No, it's not a sandwich.
Oh God!
Thank
No,
you.
you
That's
are
not
welcome.
even-
You are welcome. No, here's the thing, because then people will then say, if you turn it on its side and then I hit him, I don't let them finish the sentence. You turn it. That's their argument. I go, no,
That's
that's
terrible.
done. Pat,
That
you're
was-
welcome back anytime, just for that answer alone. Like, that was fantastic.
But one final question. We know you started Project Pat a year or two ago. Got some of the merch here. You guys got anything in the works? I know you've been doing the Pancake Pat kind of stuff on the
I
shirts.
like those
are
shirts.
awesome. Anything else in the works coming up?
You know, it's a little tough with being the off season, right? Like, what else could I have done recently to put out on a t-shirt, right? It's more so what happens while I'm playing, I think, right? So it's like trying to think of new ideas for next year to do things. I have some ideas, but I'm not gonna completely tell you guys, you know what I'm saying?
Fair
But
enough,
All
fair
good.
enough.
All good.
yeah, I mean, right now we have, you know, all the different Project Pat stuff on there because that's my nickname in Baltimore. It was given to me probably my first week of OTAs my rookie year. Like it was like right away, I was just Project Pat in the building.
I mean, it's catchy. It's like it's got a nice ring
Yeah.
to it, you know.
Yeah, and so we have a decent amount of Project Pat gear in there. And then we have my logo, which I helped come up with a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That was a big project for me with that whole website. I didn't even know they were going to put merch on it. All of a sudden, they gave me a URL. I'm like, oh, thepatrickricard.com. I'm like, okay, that's pretty sweet. I like that. And then I'm like, oh, there's a logo I helped design with them. And all of a sudden, it's like all these different clothing. And I'm like, oh, they're like, yeah, we
hats
put
now?
together some shirts and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So there's some Project Pat stuff, like I said. Then there's my logo on different shirts, hats, masks, and then I helped come up with the Pancake Pat t-shirt and hoodie because it was just the way I was playing. Like I said, I was just pancaking people, and I thought it was a clever thing. And for me, my kind of nicknames in Baltimore, it's not only Project Pat, but like people started calling me different things throughout the building. So that was another reason why I went with the PP, right? Pancake Pat.
Mhm.
Well, Pat, right? Something with the P and then Pat. So people started calling me Pro Bowl Pat. When I signed my extension, they call me Paid Pat. Some people fool
like
around,
this.
call me Party Pat. So like, I mean, any of those could be, you know, if I make a Pro Bowl again, third time, I could start doing Pro Bowl Pat t-shirts.
Those
you know,
sound like some good t-shirt ideas.
Yeah.
Right there. Those
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
those
I'm
are
in.
solid.
yeah, Party Pat. Like if
Party Pat's a good one.
I'm doing this in the end zone, you
Yes.
know,
There it is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that's why I thought the Pancake Pat was the start of this idea. So
Yeah.
this is what I was not going to tell you guys, but I thought it would be pretty sweet. So, right, I'm known for pancaking people, right? Like that's what I'm trying to do all the time. I feel like this is another reason why I pancake people is because for me, if I get a stalemate with somebody or if I don't move them enough, I feel like I lost that rep.
Yeah.
Even if it's like kind of a tie and maybe I did kind of win, I don't feel like I won that rep until I drove you 15 yards or I put you on your back. Like those are the two things that like I try to do every play. So when I finally pancake somebody on their back, like what would you say to them? Like what would you do when you're like getting up, they're on the ground, right? You kind of yell like, ah, like, you know, right? So I thought of doing is pasturing people, like a pastor, like Pastor Pat, right? Like get
Yeah.
over them and just go like this.
That's let me bless you.
I see the slow-mo.
I bless them, right?
Yes.
Toss down a quick prayer because you
So-
lost, my son.
There's there's a lot of different things to think about, but those are some ideas right there.
This sounded like a T-shirt collection now at this point.
Yeah.
I'm liking these.
Little insider.
Nice. Sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all the questions we have. Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, thank
you,
you
man.
gave us.
Thank you
Really
so much.
appreciate it.
So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
guys.